appointments that I could to present ideas, to, show them proof of what was happening through videos, through his schoolwork, examples of everything, a journal from his teachers too, which I thought was really valuable because there was more than one perspective involved, and they had known him before, where maybe some of these specialists didn't know him before, so they were seeing him as is, right?
Yeah.
And we ran labs with the pediatrician. Nothing came back immediately. So I think it really does take a specific specialist and doctor to really dig deeper, because you got to know where it's kind of coming from to treat. And some kids, like Diana mentioned, need IVIG or plasmapheresis or the more intense treatments. We started and have landed with longer antibiotics, and said to myself, I don't want him to be on antibiotics his whole life. Like, that's, it's like, which one's worse, right? Antibiotics for a long time, or, dealing with this. So kind of picking your battles and your demons there. But, we've made so many shifts as a family with nutrition and what I offer my kids, what we feed them. This definitely put a roadblock in our farm plans for a long time, because the focus was just on healing and making sure that we were doing our absolute best to go in a forward direction. But really happy that we're finally moving in that direction, because I think that lifestyle is going to help. We'll be able to grow our own food there and all of that stuff. Luckily, locally, we have 2 farms that I really trust that kind of know the situation. So we've got fresh milk and eggs and meats and all of that stuff locally here. And I think that also has made a huge, huge difference for us. So,
well, it's like I said, this conversation right here, and I don't know why it's never occurred to me to even think about it, but this conversation right here has been very eye-opening, and I think that I'm shocked, but excited, if that makes any sense, because maybe there's an answer out there that's just been overlooked. And I think that, look, this is one of the things that have always bugged me, is that our healthcare system tends to overlook things that they shouldn't overlook. And, if this was a possibility that someone's been struggling and they're not finding it, I don't know if it's just because I don't understand why they wouldn't look for it. I don't know. And now it's kind of one of those things that we've been searching for a year now, to try to get the correct diagnosis, because like you said, the one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to take and put a kid into a zombie state just to try to make him workable.
Right. I mean, I understand that there, in some situations, medication is necessary. Obviously, we had ongoing infections, medication was necessary, but you're right. I mean, why am I going to take from the neurologist medication just to treat the tics when there were so many other things going on, where I was trying to make them understand, like, how do we pull back these layers and see where this is coming from? So most of the time there are more than one children in the family. I actually know multiple pandas families that have multiple children. They all present a little bit differently. My younger 2 are milder, knock on wood. They've been symptom free for a long time. With my daughter, she was getting chronic ear infections, and when she would get sick, she would start ticking when she would get sick. And then with an ear infection, they put you on antibiotics, right? So I would see that over the course of the antibiotics, her tics would get better. And it wasn't until she started developing this like arm tic, where she would go like this and roll her wrists. And And with antibiotics, that went away when she had an ear infection. And I was like, that's definitely also what we're dealing with. Thankfully, she's been better. Her twin brother's been better. Got some challenges still with my older son, but, we're chugging along and just trying to do the right thing for them, get them the support, get them the help. I think Daniel touched on this before, just having that open communication. And I've been blessed with their school system that they've really stepped in to help support him. I'm the mom that says, hey, willing to try anything that won't hurt him, right? As long as it's going to make everything easier for everybody involved. So,
well, I'm the dad that says, as long as it doesn't hurt him a lot, a little electroshock therapy. What the heck? They can handle that. Hey, Stephanie, we're going to give you a break here for a second. Sure. When you go to the PANDAS website, which is pandasnetwork.org, you can find a video. And this video is about, it's almost 4 minutes, but this is going to kind of explain to people a little more about pandas. This is called Rebecca's Panda Stories. So we're going to play this for you and give you an idea on what pandas is. And then when we come back, the goddess of the grape is going to get into the wines for us and talk a little bit more about them. And we'll let her go, since, we're making her work overtime for 2 shows in a row. So, but this is off of pandasnetwork.org, and this is called Rebecca's Panda Stories. So please enjoy this, and we'll be back with you in just a
moment. Rebecca is our second oldest. She's generally the type of person that kind of lights up a room.
She was a very good child. She was very smart, from an early age, very outgoing child. She was doing really well in kindergarten. In the spring of 2009, after multiple positive strep infections, we started noticing a lot of anxiety, crying, not engaging at all. She just changed dramatically from this very outgoing, very smart, articulate girl to a child who needed help doing everything, even being fed. It's very, very difficult to see your child change. We just didn't know if she was going to come back.
I was 6 years old. I couldn't answer questions. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't eat, speak, breathe, drink. It's the level of, oh my God, I can't do anything and I'm scared.
Really felt like we weren't sure if we were ever going to get the energetic, beautiful child back. So the pediatrician mentioned that it might be pandas, and we had no idea what it was.
Pandas is part of the spectrum from the umbrella of autoimmune encephalitis. The immune system of the body overreacts to infection from bacteria or viruses and mistakenly targets cells of the body because the body is attacking itself and producing antibodies. The brain develops inflammation, and this is when neuropsychiatric symptoms develop. There are many different kinds of symptoms, starting from tics, severe OCD, intrusive thoughts, hallucination, eating disorders.
My wife came across the PANDAS network, got us the cell phone of the neurologist. The neurologist put her on a taper of prednisone. Within 4 weeks, we started seeing the little girl come back.
We were seeing little improvements each week, and then all of a sudden she's all excited. I can talk again. That was when I felt hopeful that we were going to be okay.
So. It was that was a moment where we felt like maybe we were going to get her back. I think it's the best outcome anything the parents could hope for.
It's important for people to hear about pandas because there are too many children out there who are just, it's not even being considered as a possibility.
Organizations like the PANDAS Network are super important because of the 1, awareness they raise, 2, communities that they build. If I could say one thing to a kid who has pandas, it would probably be, I know you're exhausted. You won't be dealing with this forever. And if it is something that's kind of going to be in string with you for the rest of your life, There are so many things you can do to kind of make it go a little easier.
We ran into a couple of people who just really did not believe in pandas.
I met so many professionals that are working with kids with pandas, misdiagnosing and mistreating, not because they're bad, they're just not informed. Only when we start treating it as a medical condition, then the entire medical profession will pay attention and take it more seriously.
And my hope for the future of pandas is that it's acknowledged and it's treated.
I am sharing my story because I am able to now. It is so important to talk about for a lot of different reasons, but primarily for our future.
Okay, so that's what happens when you don't pay attention to timing. But I was in dealing with something that may explain a lot of our problems. So, but all right, Stephanie. First off, thank you for opening your heart. Thank you for opening up about something that, look, none of us want to talk about the problems that we face on a day-to-day basis, but this is something that, with pandas being one of the organizations that we're trying to help and we're trying to offer support to, I thought that, and unfortunately we ended up having the scheduling difficulty and the illness that came along with it, but we got lucky enough that we had somebody who is experienced in it and can talk about it. So, but
I always say if our story can help just one family get in front of a doctor a little bit quicker, it's all worth it, right?
You know what, sweetie, that's exactly what we were just saying earlier.
Yep.
The truth is that everyone has something in their story. It could be the way that they say and the way that they say and can make somebody go, holy crap, that's it. That's what I've been looking for.
Yep.
Put it into context. And if we tell stories, you telling your story about your children, there's could be somebody out there right now sitting there going, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Maybe this is, and I know this is true because guess what, Stephanie? We've got to get my son tested.
We'll talk.
So
we've got you.
I had never thought about it. I had never thought about it until you talked. Your story has opened my eyes that could maybe help a young man that, I know and love and is having some extreme difficulties right now. I'm not going to lie to you. We're having a lot of hard times.
They call this such a rare illness, right? But they say it's at least 1 in 200 children. So think about that. That means that every school has kids that are battling this, and so if we could just reach those school nurses, those teachers, their pediatricians, and that's what Pandas Network is doing, is offering these conferences to be able to inform, and not just the parents, but the medical professionals also. So I'm just so thankful for them because truthfully, the other families that have experienced the same things have been the best support in our journey. And, like I mentioned last time, Diana checking in every once in a while and just asking how the kids are means the world.
All right, Sue, can you go ahead and shut off the live, please?